The Oaklawn Handicap and #1 rating will go to Cigar by 2.5.
But Galladoro looks like a champion in the making. He wins this one by 3.
And we're off in the Oaklawn Handicap. And Skippy Longstocking skipping home to a big win in the Oaklawn Handicap. And we're off. And its first mission, drawing clear, edging away for an Oaklawn Handicap win.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, and I'm joined by Nancy Holthus. I'm Richard Migliori, and we've got the draw for the 84th running of the Oaklawn Handicap, and this is one for the ages, Nancy, because you got last year's Kentucky Derby and Belmont winner in Sovereignty, and last year's Preakness winner in Journalism coming back, and to make their 4-year-old debuts in the Oaklawn Handicap is very special.
Well, check this out. I've literally got goosies. You know, part of racing is rivalries, and this is definitely going to go down in the books as probably one of the greatest rivalries as we've seen, especially in this division.
You know, it kind of starting to harken back to Affirmed and Aladar maybe a little bit. Those are the kind of rivalries that really capture people's attention. No doubt, Sovereignty, your horse of the year last year, was the best 3-year-old. Wonder if Journalism can close the gap, though. They all mature at different stages.
Yeah, they certainly do, and I certainly expect Mike McCarthy to bring back a very fit and well-to-do horse. It was confirmed that he was going to compete in the Oaklawn Handicap after he clocked a nice 5-furlong drill at Santa Anita.
Yeah, and it looks like he's kind of picked up the pace of his works. Both of them kind of coming into this the right way. Journalism, such a game winner of the Preakness last year when he was stymied in traffic. You know he's brave.
Yeah, he's gutsy and just, you can't train hard, but you absolutely see that in his performance because it comes off as effortless.
It really does, and just I love that we have this matchup. It's something that you don't see very often. 2 horses at this caliber coming back, and I think we're in for some fireworks. Love this edition of the $1.25 million Oaklawn Handicap 84th running. And we've got some help from the racing office over here, Jason Milligan, Zach Gillen. We're going to jump right into, we got a field of 6 run. Guys, let's just get started.
This is the draw for the Oaklawn Handicap. It's going to go as race 11 of 12 with a field of 6. Number 2.
Number 2, Liberal Arts. Hold up.
Number 2, Liberal Arts. Brad Cox, trainee, gets post 2.
We have number 5.
Journalism.
Journalism gets post position 5. Last year's Preakness winner with Jose Ortiz for trainer Michael McCarthy.
Number 3.
Number 3, Sovereignty.
Sovereignty, last year's horse of the year, 3-year-old champion, returning for trainer Bill Mott. Rider Junior Alvarado will take his usual place in the saddle.
Number 6.
Publisher.
Publisher, number 6, from the Steve Asmussen barn, last year's runner-up in the Arkansas Derby. Kind of getting a winning habit. He's starting to learn the game. Eric Asmussen will ride.
Number 4.
Duke of Duval.
Duke of Duval, also from the Steve Asmussen barn, gets post 4 with his son Keith Asmussen aboard.
And that leaves number 1.
White Abario.
Number 1, White Abario, Irad Ortiz Jr. for Safi Joseph, who took down the Apple Blossom yesterday with Claret Barrett, a Breeders' Cup Classic winner. So we're talking so much about a Kentucky Derby and Belmont winner, a Preakness winner, but we also have a Breeders' Cup Classic winner in here, Nancy.
Yeah, super impressive as we do see that Classic winner come back, and a lot of these horses are going to make that 4-year-old debut, and it's obviously maybe a big ask to come back at this caliber of a race, but this is a list to definitely be reckoned with.
You know, Nancy, we were talking before the draw about how much speed is signed on in here. Who do you think by default winds up on the lead? Could it be White Barrio, particularly from post 1?
It definitely could be. And, when looking at the past performances, none of these have ever gotten the first call out of the starting gate. Could it be Journalism? Could it be Sovereignty? Sovereignty did press that early pace when he won the Jim Dandy, but as you mentioned, down in that one post position, Irad Ortiz is going to have him very placed as soon as they get out of the gate.
No doubt. Let's go through the post positions once more and their odds as well. White Barrio, post 1, installed at 7-2. Liberal Arts at post 2 at 15-1. Sovereignty, last year's Horse of the Year, post position 3, installed at 4-5. Number 4, Duke of Duval from the Asmussen Barn, 20-1. Journalism, last year's Preakness winner, post position 5 at 5-2. And Publisher, who I feel like is learning the game, a horse that's kind of putting together a couple wins back-to-back. It's post 6 at 15-1.
I actually think this horse could really jump up and run very well. He was runner-up in last year's Arkansas Derby while still a maiden, and it's like this year the light bulb has come on. He's been able to put wins back-to-back, so very excited to see him maybe get this chance.
And the Asmussen Barn really having a good run here. Last year he was leading trainer with 41 wins. He's already well over 50.
Yeah, he is having a meet of meets, and not only leading trainer but also leading owner. He was tied for leading owner last season and very well is going to wrap up that title yet again this year.
Well, I'm really excited for next weekend's Oaklawn Handicap. Here is your field, one last time. And Nancy, as a racing fan, I love this. And for coverage, it just gives us so much to talk about. But we're going to have a lot more racing. We haven't even get started at Oaklawn Park here yet today. Let's head back to New York and Aqueduct, where they've already underway.
Richie, Nancy, what a treat to watch that post position draw, and now we can all start debating what does it mean moving forward to next Saturday. You have to remind yourself, these matchups with horses like that normally don't happen in April. You see this later in the year as we start to get closer to the Breeders' Cup. What a treat.
Agreed. I think we were all hoping maybe in the Whitney or something like that it might take place. So to see it this early is really special. And with White Barrio as well, we absolutely cannot forget him. He's a horse that a couple of years ago won the Breeders' Cup Classic and was the finalist for Horse of the Year after a sensational year. He's won the Whitney before. He had a little bit of a tough year last year, missing the Breeders' Cup as well, being a late scratch on track. And then he came back with a valiant second-place finish in the Pegasus World Cup at the start of this year. He's got a ton of back class, and we know that his trainer still believes in him. I think he adds a really interesting layer, especially as Meg and Nancy were talking about with the short field and where the pace might come from given his draw.
It is a race not to be missed, and you won't miss it because it's going to be right here on America's Day at the Races next Saturday, the Oaklawn Handicap. Journalism, Sovereignty, White Barrio. When we come back, more from Act.